So guys, today we'll understand what exactly Hamming code is and why it will be used. So in the previous classes we have seen different types of error detection techniques, out of which they'll be used to identify single bit error, multiple bit error and burst errors. Now we are going to see different error correction mechanisms, like identifying the error and correcting it back. So which means if you receive 1 instead of 0, we have to identify the exact bit where it has become erroneous, and we have to change it back to the original one. So how we do that? So this is a single bit error correction mechanism. So I'm writing it over here, which is single bit error correction mechanism. So I'll show you the implementation of the logic and how we are going to do it and all, and theory part you can cover it up. So let us take an example that my data which I am going to transmit over the medium is 10101111. So assume that this byte you're going to transmit from one end to the other end, and how you're going to generate the Hamming code and what are all the requirements you need to transmit. So let's understand the concept. During the transmission of Hamming code, what it will do is it will append some logical data along with my original data. Okay, that is with the help of parity bits. Now, first of all, our task is how to identify the number of parity bits required. First one is requirement of your parity bits, and second is what are the positions where I have to embed this data. In the earlier methods, we have seen that any kind of logical operation that has been made and the logical code or logical value which we received from the calculations, we just append it at the end of the data transmission and we will transmit it. నాకున్న డేటాకి సింపుల్గా చివరిలో యాడ్ చేసి పంపించేసేవాడిని. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తున్నామంటే వీఆర్ అపెండింగ్ ద డేటా ఇన్ ద మిడిల్ ఆఫ్ ద యాక్చువల్ డేటా. ఏదైతే మనం ఇప్పుడు ఐడెంటిఫై చేస్తున్నామో డిఫరెంట్ లాజికల్ కోడ్, ఈ డేటాను ఏం చేస్తున్నాను నేను, ఐఎమ్ అపెండింగ్ ఇట్. ఓకే, రిమెంబర్ వన్ థింగ్, వెన్ యువర్ డేటా gets appended with some logical code, that becomes code word. It is no more data, it is simply code word. Okay, so let's identify, first of all let's identify the parity bits, how many number of bits required and how we can get them, and second one is what are all the positions where we can append these parity bits. Okay, let us assume your data you're going to transmit is 8 bits. So I am taking it as 8 bits. Assume that I am taking a number n equal to 8 bits. Okay, keep this in mind. Now to identify the required parity bits, you need to remember the formula, that is, assume that if you are finding out a parity, so 2p greater than or equal to p plus n plus 1. So what exactly is, what is 2p? You're going to get the data in 2 powers. In general, 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, like that. So I'm going to start the calculation, and where this particular formula gets satisfied, then I'll pick that many number of bits to append. Okay, let's start with 0. So 2 power 0 equal to 0 plus 8 plus 1, which is anything power 0 remains 1. So 1 greater than or equal to 8 plus 1 gives you 9. So here this is not true. Second case, 2 power 1 greater than or equal to 1 plus 8 plus 1, which is 9 plus 1 10. So 2 greater than or equal to 10. So this is also wrong. And third condition, which is 2 power 2 greater than or equal to 2 plus 8 plus 1, which is 4 greater than or equal to 11, not satisfied. And next condition is 2 power 3 greater than or equal to 3 plus 8 plus 1, which is 8 greater than or equal to 12, satisfied. And the last is 2 power 4. If you see this, 4 plus 8 plus 1, that is 9 plus 4, how much? 13. here it is 16. So now this condition got satisfied, which means you require total number of 4 parity bits to be added for your actual data, which means my n equal to 8 bits, I need to add parity bits of 4. So total in my transmission, my code word will be 12 bits. Hope you understand how we will identify this. Now we have to identify the positions, that also I told you, where we need to append this. First of all, I am going it into a frame size of 12. Let's draw this frame size. This total number of 12 bits. So let me divide this into 12 slots. So I got 12 slots. Now first of all, we need to identify the positions for the parity bits, then we'll go with the data in the remaining slots. So I got 12. I'm giving the index numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 and 12. If you see total number of 4 bits required, I hope you all remember hexadecimal conversions where we'll see this kind of a code 8 4 2 1. If you are going with 4 binary digits, you will be getting this code. So it is quite easy to identify the positions with this manner. That means you're going to reserve the 8th slot, you're going to reserve the 4th slot, 2nd slot and 1st slot. I hope once again it is clear. So this is a benchmark mechanism to remember. So 1 2 4 8. If your size of data is a bit larger and if you're going to append a large number of bits, then if the size increases to it, then you can, after 8 you will be getting 16, right? You remember that. So here I have 4 bits, so I have chosen the positions 8 4 2 and 1. So I'm giving it the numbers, like assume that p bits for p1 p2 p3 and p4. These are my positions, and in the remaining positions you just simply bring out this byte and fill it, like 1 0 1 0 1 1 1 1. Now you see you got the complete frame. Now you need to identify the value for these parity bits. Now task number 3, which is value for the parity bits. We require number of parity bits, we made it, and we got the positions. You need to identify the values of those parity bits. So how we are going to identify that? So I'm going with this over here. So assume that 8 4 2 1. Let's start from 1 because there is no 0. I'm starting it with 1, or else we'll go with the complete table and we'll exclude 0. So you remember all these things, right? So if it is 8, easy way to remember, 8 zeros first, 6 7 8 and then 8 ones, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. And 4, if it is 4 zeros first, 4 ones next, and then again 4 zeros, and then again 4 ones. For this it's 2 zeros, 2 ones, 2 zeros, 2 ones, 2 zeros, 2 ones, 2 ones. The last one is 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 and 0 1. So this is pretty much easy for you. You have been doing this since very a long time. So now identify the value for P1. Okay, so right. So to identify the value for P1, you need to do some math. What is it? So this is P1, this is P2, this is P4, this is P8. This is clear. So now identify the ones in the vertical way for this P1. So once again, keep it clear. You are going to find out the ones or positions of those ones very clearly. So I'm giving the index numbers for these also, like 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. I'm excluding these things, 13 14 and 15. I'm excluding this 0 because we have 1 to 12. So I'm catching up this. So see, so now let us see this. For P1, you're going to find out the values where 1 exists. So now these are the places where I have 1. So now identify the indexes. Okay, so see this. Assume that this is the slot. Okay, now for calculating P1, you're bringing out the positions where 1 occurred. So first position, so 1 comma position number 3 comma position number 5 comma 7 comma 9 comma 11. In other way, you can also remember like this, adding up the first, skipping up the next, adding up the next, skipping up the next, like that. Now if you see this, you need to identify parity for this sequence, parity value for this sequence. Obviously position 1 is held at first position, so remaining values, for example in 3 you have 1, in 5 you have 1, in 7 you have 1, in 9 you have 0, in 11 you have 0. You need to remember one thing. In the question, if they ask you to find it in odd parity mechanism, example, odd parity in the sense, if you receive odd number of ones here, you have to consider that as 0. If it is a even parity, which means if you receive the sequence in even number, you have to consider that as 0. Now remember, it is odd sequence, where if you get odd numbers, I got odd numbers, so I'll take it as a 0. If I receive even numbers, then I'll treat it as a 1, because it is odd parity mechanism. Now coming to parity check for the second position. Now you see here 2, 3. Okay, so I'm writing 2, 3, and then 4, 5 gone, 6, 7, 8, 9 gone, 10, 11. I hope it is clear. So now to remember this, considering 2 positions, skipping 2 positions, where 4 and 5 are skipped. Considering 2 positions, 6 and 7, skipping 8 and 9. Like that you can remember this. So P2, obviously 2, we have to find it. Now coming to, after P2 we have 3, third position, that is 1, and then 5 and 6 and 7. So position number 6, position number 7, and then 10 and 11, in 10 and 11. So 1, 0. You can see this, you got even number of ones, so I placed 1 here. Like how you're going to find it for P4, position 4. You can see for position 4, this one, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 12. So 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 12. Now again, you see here, P4, you need to find it out. So for this, so you need to find it out for P4 position, where 5, 6, 7, and 12 need to be considered. So 5, 6, 7, it's P3, parity bit 3, but position 4. Okay, this is parity bit 3, but position, parity bit 4, but 8th position. Okay, so parity bit 3, so you need to identify this. So 5, 6, 7, and 12. So 5, 6, 7, all ones, and then 12. So again, even parity, I am going with 1. The last one is P4 bit, but position is 8. So last one, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all are required. So from here, 8 is P4, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If you do this, 9, 10, 11, 12, where 9 remains 0, 10 remains 1, 11 remains 0, 12 remains 1, again it is even, so I am taking it as 1. I hope it is clear to you all. You understood this, right? Now see, position 1, parity bit position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4. Now if this calculation is a bit easy, now I'm going for the second one, where you know that the data frame, so a frame is of total 12 slots, which we already know this. So I'm going with the 12 slot again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now for position P1 you got 0, so I'm placing it here 0, or let me make it a bit different. 0, and the data bits which you are transmitting, see here, P2 we have divided it as 1, so P2 I am adding it as 1, P2 is 1, and coming to the remaining data which is from third position, 3 is 1, so I am placing at position 3 1, and again you have to find out the position 3 value which is 1 again, so position 3 value 1 again, and then you have 5 6 7, so you can see this 5 6 7, so 1 1 1, I'm placing them back 1 1 and 1, and then you got P4, you need to place P4 value which is 1, so I'm placing it as 1, and the rest 4 are 1 0 1 0. So this is the Hamming code data, or you can call it as a code word which you are transmitting it to the receiver end. So now this data got received, assume that received by the receiver. So ఈ data వచ్చేసింది అక్కడికి. Now let's understand, for example, for an instance, let's take for an instance, during the transmission of this data, when this particular data is being transmitted, assume that one bit got disturbed. For example, let's take like this. So this is my data received at the receiver end. See very carefully, I am changing one value. This 1 turned to 0. Okay, and 0 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 0. You can see very clearly I intentionally changed this value from 1 to 0. Now when receiver receives this data with 1 bit error, how it is going to correct it? ఎలా కరెక్ట్ చేస్తుందో మనం చూద్దాం. Now whatever calculations which you have done earlier, you have to perform the same with the positions. You have to perform the parity values like 1 2, it's 12, 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 and 12. So let's make it quick. For P1 position 1, what you have done, consider the first bit, skip the second one, third bit, and then next skipping the next one, like how. So 0, next 3, next 5, next 7, next 9, next 11. Let's see later. For P2, from here you are starting it from here, second is considered, third is considered, so you know the logic, right? Second bit and third bit, which is 1 1, 4 and 5 skipped, 6 and 7, 8 and 9 skipped, 10 and 11. So here you got this. For P3, which is it from fourth position, that is from here, so you're going to consider 4 5 6 7 and 12. So 4 5 6 7 and then 12. The last one is P4. So P4 value is 8th position. So from 8th position, if you go back 8 9 10 11 12, so 9 10 11 12. So let's calculate. If it is odd, as we know that odd, so odd must be considered as 0, even must be considered as 1, odd 0, even 1. Now you all know that this is the data, and this is the MSB side, and this is the LSB side. So we'll obviously take the highest power to the left. As you can see, position 4 which comes here, that is, this is the highest bit. So I am treating this as like this, so that is 1 0 1 0. This is my parity values like this. Okay, now if you apply 8421 logic for here code, then you will receive 8 plus 2, which is 10, decimal 10. Okay, it is a bit tricky, but just understand, I have calculated parity again with the sequences I have, and I have obtained 1 0 1 0, and in the 1 0 1 0, if I apply 8421 on that, I'll get 8 plus 2, which is 10. This is a decimal 10. That means in the data frame, 10th position bit is erroneous. Then the system will invert that bit. 10th పొజిషన్లో ఉన్న బిట్ని ఇన్వర్ట్ చేసేస్తుంది, విచ్ మీన్స్ నౌ ద కరెక్టెడ్ సీక్వెన్స్ ఈజ్ 1 0, that 0 became 1 now, okay, because I inverted it. 1 0 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 0. So you got the frame in the correct way. I hope the topic is clear. Let me tell you one more time. This is single bit error correction mechanism. It is only helpful when one bit get erroneous. You can identify that and you can change the bit into actual binary number. Now what is the advantage of this error correction mechanism is, if sometimes in the transmission, if you transmit the data after performing this much logic, if the receiver and it receives erroneous, then you need to retransmit again. Retransmission in the sense you have to perform all the operations again. To avoid all those things, simple technique followed at the receiver end with the help of Hamming code. So the topic is much easy if you understand it very easily. So see you all next time with a new topic. Thank you.